out of our system, just daintily tiptoe into the Nerd Fortress.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be a sneaking mission. You have to avoid all of the wizards and dwarves.
It's not going to be a sneaking mission. Flexgar can't sneak.
It's true.
I think we've already established our policy regarding local authority figures.
Make them explode. Or stab them.
He's a slippery one, though.
Oh.
Here's one of the main gimmick set pieces that will appear in the Tower of Illusion. They got teleporters all over the place. And AI that doesn't always understand that teleporters are. And many wizards.
Many wizards.
So many wizards. The hunt is on.
If you like killing nerds, this is the time to do it.
We will collect many nerd pelts over the course of this dungeon.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but weren't we a nerd that got teleported into this dimension?
No,
we were a hick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this is Flexgar's dream come true right here.
Yeah.
It's time to finally take it to the liberal elite. Careful about doors.
Flexgar, stop that. Walls are not your friend.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, right now, they're the things that are keeping the wizards away from him.
Be sure to prevent all of this nefarious science from being able to continue.
Potions?
Sure.
Bah. Flexgar does not
Sure.
need potions, he needs only booze.
So, yeah, this is one of the dungeons that I really like in the game. It's a good difficulty spike as you're moving along your campaign. I'm going to switch to some leather pants for a while, because I've mentioned many times, chain pants are vulnerable to lightning. So yeah, it's a very big dungeon. It has a lot of open areas you can control in many ways. The wizards are interesting opponents. We see our first signs of magic bear traps. They're charged with a couple of spells. Some are relatively harmless, like that one will just make us run around. Others are quite deadly.
Especially even that would be deadly if you were surrounded.
They're invisible until you stick very close to them. You can get around them by tiptoeing.
I believe you can use the Eagle Eye ability, too, to see them from far away.
Yeah, great interactions as always between all movable objects.
Get over here. No, I don't want it. I don't want to go.
Crush all sides. So you gotta be very careful with the wizards. They often have enough health to survive at least one hit from you, at which point, the cowardice AI will kick in and they become very slippery and evasive. Another silver Dracula axe. That's a fine thing to keep around.
Not as good as the other Dracula axe, but it's still a pretty good axe.
Still quite good axe.
Is there actually any purpose to destroying all of that stuff, or is Flexgar just mad?
The satisfaction.
Gotcha.
Breaking a bunch of nerds' fancy toys.
Just making certain.
I know one of these traps is always the same, and it's the worst gotcha in this game.
Yeah, they stow some pretty powerful spells in some of these traps. They're terrifying.
I wonder
You
if the
must tread
wizards can
lightly.
see those traps fine.
The upperclassmen probably can.
So essentially,
Freshmen may have a high rate of attrition.
every now and then you're just walking down the halls and a freshman just starts spinning around.
Hello there.
So I can see that we're still making good use of Berserker Charge and some new ability we got recently. The F and D ones don't seem to be being used very much.
Those
Those are
useful.
much more situational than the charge, the shout, and the harpoon.
They do have their uses, but
And
not
now,
as
class, your final exam. Kill him!
That's another nice thing about this dungeon. It has a fair number of nice set pieces like this.
Time to administer a lesson in pain. Take that door.
I like that situation. Opens the door, closes the door, smash.
Happens all the time in this
Bear
dungeon.
trap sitting right there in that neighborhood for you. Alright, that guy gets top marks. He died last.
Your family will be proud of your black.
We may have murdered his family on the way in.
True.
We did. There's no maybe there. Everyone in the wizard town is dead.
Oh, he might be an import.
Unless he's related to one of the shopkeepers.
So we haven't actually gone through one of the teleporters yet. Is this like a big hub area for the dungeon or something?
No, each floor is self-contained. The teleporters are just shortcuts to get around on this one.
I see.
Some of the later floors will actually use the teleporters to gate progress. It's time to start, freeing up space in our inventory. Once again, this is a dungeon that runs long enough that you will overload yourselves, even on lightweight, flimsy wizard gear.
Imagine the
So-
first person that comes into this place after all this is done, like somebody who's been out for a while, and just comes in and just sees everyone
Just
murdered
heads
in
in
this one
to the
room,
West Wing, and here's Nerd Mass Grave A.
and just all these helmets on the ground.
I'm gonna keep the cloaks around primarily as trophies.
Nerd belts.
Shoes and nerd hats, not so much. Those can stay around.
The robes are the most valuable thing, too, that the wizards can drop, so...
And this is a game based on like a cell system, not a weight system, so...
There is a carry weight.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
As the warrior, we have the highest weight of each. That's the power of, fuck you traps. There were
That is
fireballs
the one I
loaded
was
in
talking
those.
about.
And another!
I'm
Oh, that damn
amazed
near
you're still
killed you.
alive. If you had
Flexgar
even-
is strong.
If you had even 1 point of damage, you would have been dead.
You start to encounter wizards who can throw fireballs. They're all color-coded by their, level of skill. Level ups infrequent enough that you can easily forget they happen.
No, you already know that ability. It tries to give you an ability every level. Once you've hit 5, you already know all of them, so they'll say that every single time you level up anyway.
Yep.
Just
Just try
like-
to put force field on himself. It would have protected him from a fair percentage of damage from ordinary attacks, but charge is strong.
What's wrong with this one?
Gently, gently.
Ah, so you can walk over them if you do the tiptoey thing.
Since the classes are balanced around being able to do multiplayer death matches against each other once they're fully leveled, the warrior has a very good set of skills for countering magic bullshit.
Well, my guess is that it would probably be like his particular weakness most of the time, so that makes sense. Otherwise, this area would just be hell for him.
Yeah, that key we picked up a while ago is the one that we need to progress off this floor. The rest of this nerd murder is just optional.
But recommended.
Highly recommended. Also highly recommended to always remember the tools at your disposal. The game will give you a huge number of free shurikens, and they are just highly useful for broadening up your killing power. It makes it very versatile to just keep them on your offhand.
Yeah.
Gently.
So that, there we go, has just now come up is that some of these wizards, the green ones, can make you drop whatever weapon you're using.
However,
which is
the
extremely-
halberd is immune to this because it's a plot weapon.
It's extremely frustrating if you're using a regular weapon, but, like we just said, if you're using the halberd, you're good. You can't drop it, you have it equipped at all times.
This is the weapon of a king. No nerd can trifle with its tricks.
Pretty bad position there for a bit. But it seems as if the nerds have kind of been dumb and walked right in. Nerds know not tactical, it's actually advantageous, it's pretty assuming.
Yeah, enemy AI and Nox not especially clever. Fireball, whatever.
They give you enough healing that even though it isn't, you can just shove potions down your face and you're good most of the time.
As long as your reflexes are good. Yeah, don't completely get yourself wasted by each encounter.
I do like that move where I just pull them and then headbutt them in the chest.
Yep, it's probably one of my favorite combos in the game.
I just like imagining it as like Flexgar getting them with the harpoon and then pulling, and then while they're being pulled forward, just putting his head out and then just run into his head.
That
and
or just
fall
kind of flying kick in the face, reeling them in. It's leave
That's
nothing
my
chance here.
fighting for the pretties. Attack
Oh.
and destroy!
Feathers.
For
like,
some definitions of feathers, those are little mechanical flying dealies.
yeah, they're thopters of some kind. Huh.
They're mildly irritating. They rapidly fire arrows.
Oddly enough, they don't move, so the fact that they're flying is completely pointless. They don't move when they're attacking anyway. They can pull in on you if you leave.
Theoretically, if one of them were to be like hovering over a pit, that would mean that you could never get at it, right?
Unless you threw something at it. Or
Yeah.
harpooned it.
Yeah, frankly, those could just be turrets, and things wouldn't be different. They're just flying, you know, spear-throwing copters because wizards.
Because nerds.
Yeah,
That's a decent
Nerds are always extravagant.
that is a nice hat.
Sturdy bullets, fire resistant. Good head.
Fire resist is useful.
And nice little storage closet. Spare medical cloak.
Spare apples. Here's a big reason why it's fine to just shove potions down your throat.
Yeah.
Frogs!
Frogs!
Dozens of experimental frogs.
They just keep them in barrels.
Barrel of frogs, be free!
You know, would be really happy right now. Dog one.
Dog one would have loved these frogs.
Also those apples.
Dog 1 would have had a field day in this room. Would have been like taking him to the Dog 1 park.
The park for first dogs. No second
Yes.
dogs.
Honestly, I didn't like Second Dog all that much.
Well, that's a floor clear.
The first floor is the largest, so after the first one is like a full third of the dungeon in and of itself.
However, the additional floors start to add better enemies and the occasional complication.
Huh. If your
Yeah.
blind side goes right.
Yeah, projectiles will go much farther than you can see, so if you know your enemy has nowhere to run, just keep firing.
What were those things pelting you with?
Those are imps. They're a pretty low-level enemy, we just don't get to see any of them early on in the Warrior campaign.
Yes, but what were they firing?
Little tiny bolts of fire.
So essentially you were just like, riddled with tiny bolts of fire, and Flexgar did not give a fuck.
They were throwing candles at you. Let's not be charitable here. Imps aren't really that big of a deal.
Flexgar is immune to candles. Lavender and Sarah.
Man would not know the difference between lavender or chamomile. He's that bad. Frankly, it doesn't smell the same at all.
Flexgar has no sense of smell.
He has only a sense of justice.
And that is entirely not true. Smell nerd fear.
Plenty of these windows are used to give tricksy nerds ways to fire at you.
Well, that's kind of neat. You can
They were
just, like,
experimenting on this armor. Must have been trying to reverse engineer its burliness. We will not allow it to fall into the wrong hands.
Or onto the wrong chest. Which is ours as well.
Yes.
Our chest is wrong. For
This is not for us, but we must protect it.
Yeah.
Is there anything particularly special about these doors?
Particularly special, and
Bah.
that's what happens when you die.
You miserable.
You just
You-
explode.
You drop loot.
Knox.
Loot, which is your whole
Galvapon
inventory.
donated your corpse to their academy for further studies.
Nice
Nothing will
skeleton.
do them any good.
Very nice skeleton.
You have been keeping good care of your bones.
Yep, another example of one of the, game over screens. Some nice taunting. Autosaves are pretty good.
They happen every screen transition, so every floor in this dungeon, you'll have an autosave.
Yep,
And you can autosave at any time as well if you'd like.
yep. Very forgiving saves. Let's start off a little more to the other side of this floor this time.
Take it a little bit slower.
Damn, that input is juking. Just avoided all of your shuriken.
This technique's quite advanced.
Powerful input. Maybe that one upgrade from candles to flashlights.
We just hit that man through the door.
Well, yeah, you can do that. You know, you just slam to the door, and the door contains all of the energy of the slam, and it moves into the person. What happens?
That's science.
Wait,
bad it's-
shit. That's nerd talk. Damn it.
Yeah,
We
it's
have spent
okay.
too much
We've-
time among
we've
them, we
always
are becoming
known
like
you're a
them.
spy.
Well, it happens. Can I still go to to warrior parties?
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever, just don't bring your nerd talk around here.
Don't ask, don't tell. Nerd.
Guess the word's out. I might be a little bit of a wizard.
Oh, come on, man, let's not bring politics into this.
All right, all right.
We're just here to have fun, kill some nerds, you know.
Just saying.
Chandor
Orvar
did nothing wrong.
There are a lot of nerds. This is one thing that I've... Like, this place was used, right?
Yeah.
It seems weird that these nerds would be so disorganized. I mean, they just leave a barrel of throwing.
Have you ever been to a frat?
It's a nerd frat, though.
Yeah, frat wizards.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be just as disorganized, man. Just because they're wizards doesn't mean they don't leave everything around. Come on.
Once again, secure that armor.
Make certain it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
I guess there is one thing that's different about those doors. You have to rub your body up against them. They don't open by,
Yeah, there's the delay on opening one.
They respond well to cuddling.
The door just wants to be loved.
Like any good door.
Checking for hidden passages, but again, when you're in a big area like this, those ticks are probably just, the geometry of a big set of rooms.
Yeah. I have to say that there aren't any breakable walls in this place. You just broke some a minute ago.
Shoddy wizard engineering.
Those are all around the wizard town, too.
Yeah, there's some places where that sprite gets used to mean something. That one's just decorative.
But we'll take some time to admire it.
It's a good sprite. Ooh, haste points.
Are we going to whip those? Yes, we are.
Gotta go fast.
It's even noticeable.
Haste boots, pretty common item. You can find at least one of them in every campaign. Very solid piece of equipment.
Although these are only, so they are also strength boots.
The mighty is a level of quality. As
And
opposed
the
to
level of quality.
adequate.
And I'm pretty sure the level of quality mostly affects the amount of durability they have, rather than their armor rating or anything like that.
More durability. You don't want your boots. You don't want your boots breaking.
Purple wizards are very dangerous.
Are you
Fairly
poisoned?
dangerous.
You have an ailment of some kind.
Oh, the numbers are wolfeyes firing up in case anyone became a wizard.
Oh, that's what. Alright. Can the purple wizards become invisible?
No, the greens can. Maybe the purples can. Lots of them can. They all have fairly open spell lists. Purple wizard.
The green wizards are basically just there to annoy you. The red ones do really big burst damage. The blue ones are scrubs.
Purple.
And the purple wizards.
Purple can do a lot of harm if you leave them alone. They have a spell that does damage over time if they're able to stand still. So you want to keep them moving.
So this is a fortress, right?
It's a castle.
It's primarily school, as far as what the fortress
Yeah,
is for.
it seems university-esque. Oh. Laser traps.
Come on.
Which we are not going to bother with yet. Our rope got trapped in the door.
Nice.
Stupid nerd.
Get owned. So yeah, lasers, very deadly. Do not touch. Switch, not at all deadly. Do touch.
Touch all switch. Ah,
There we go. Moving on up.
not
Eventually.
quite.